First thing that we're going to do is create an AWS account. If you don't have one already, go to the EC2 service, launch the instance using T2 Micro and Amazon AMI 2018, create our security groups, and then log in. So let's get started. I'll show you how to access or how to create your AWS account. AWS.com, or you can go to AWS.amazon.com. It's all the same thing. If you have an account, sign into the console here. If you don't have an account, then we're gonna go ahead and create one. AWS.amazon.com/resources/create-account. So you'd follow these steps to create your account in here, right? Add your email, your password, AWS account name. Follow those steps to completion. You will get 12 months of free tier access if you don't already have an account. So since I already have an account, I'm just gonna go ahead and log in, and then I'll be right back. All right, now I'm logged into the AWS console. So what I want to do now is head on over to EC2. One thing I do want to mention though, you have all of these different services that you can use: Data Sync, Inspector, IoT, Transcoder, RDS. All of these are Amazon Web Services. So the service that we're specifically going to be using right now is EC2, so on their compute. So go ahead and click on EC2. This is after you've logged in, and we're going to go to instances and click on launch instance. So we've created our Amazon Web Services account. Now we are in the EC2 service. We've clicked on launch instance. We're going to use T2 Micro and Amazon AMI 2018. Let's go ahead and do that. I think the 2018 one might be outdated at this point. So what we're going to do is go ahead and use the Amazon Linux 2 AMI. So we'll pick the T2 Micro and configure instance details. We'll leave these as default. And again, the purpose of this is not to go through each portion of EC2 in depth. I can probably do that in a different lesson. So we'll just keep these as a default. And in a different lesson, I may be able to explain what some of these things mean. But we're going to keep the configuration as default. Add storage, we're also going to keep this at the default. Add tags. I am going to add a tag called the name. I'm going to do a KN springBoot tutorial, and I'm going to add another tag called owner, and I'm just going to put my name. So next we're going to configure the security group. So we do want SSH, and we want to the SSH protocol by default is TCP. Default port is 22. We can't change that, but we can change the source. So instead of having it accessible by anybody on that port, I just want it accessible by me. So I'm just going to pick my IP, and this is going to specify my IP. We need to add another rule for HTTP. All right, and we can leave this open to anyone. Let's just add a custom TCP. Let's do port 8080. Everybody. And now we can review and launch. All right, so we have our SSH just for my IP, HTTP, T2 Micro, and everything else is at the default. So let's go ahead and launch. So I already have a key pair, so I just went ahead and chose mine. But if you don't have a key pair, then you would click on create a new key pair and give your key pair a name. All right. Let's click on launch instances, and we just have to wait. So now it's launching. I'm just going to click on the instance here, or I can click on view instances, but I'm going to click on the direct link here. And when the instance state is running, then I will be able to log in. So what I'm going to do is click on the instance, and we have some information down here like the instance ID, the instance type. What we really care about right now is the public DNS and the public IP address. So that's here and here, because this is what we're going to use to log into our instance, and also this would be the link that we give to other people if we want them to access our website. So if you click on connect, it's going to direct you to these 3 areas where you can connect to the instance. I'm going to go ahead and use SSH client. If you're on Windows, it might just be easier to use the EC2 instance connect or use PuTTY. I'm going to go back to the terminal, navigate to my desktop. So what I'm going to do is run that command to change the permissions of my key pair to 400, just to make sure that the public can't view my key pair. And then I'm going to connect to my instance. Okay, so make sure your key pair is somewhere where you can access it. So I just have mine on my desktop for the tutorial purposes. So when I run that command, we can actually just copy it. All right, and then we can paste it into the terminal. Let's hit yes. Awesome. So now we have logged into our EC2 instance. So we've created our EC2 and we've logged into our EC2 successfully. So let's go back and look at the instructions on what we're supposed to do next. So we've created our AWS account. We went to the EC2 service. We started an instance. We used the T2 micro. We did not use AMI 2018. We actually used AMI Linux 2, which will work perfectly fine. We created our security group using SSH and HTTP rules in our security group. And then we logged into our instance using SSH, but you can use EC2 instance connect, or you can use PuTTY. We just use SSH and just follow the instructions that was in AWS. So now we have successfully created our EC2 instance. Let's move on to step 3.